Hello, everyone. So, one fine evening, when I was done with my work and stuff, I was standing at the balcony, sipping my cup of coffee, and I felt a buzz from my phone. And when I reached for it, there was no notification at all. My mind had tricked me. This has happened to quite a lot of us, right? And this led me to go on into a thought spiral. The one that starts quietly but pulls you in into deeper and deeper until you stumbled across something big. This is not a talk of the hows or the whys. This is just a quiet realization that I felt. So come on in with me on a journey, not through machines, but through ourselves, through the invisible thresholds of language, emotion, and instincts, and what it actually means to be human when our minds extend beyond us. For the longest time, we drew a hard line between emotions and logic, that the logic was noble and emotions were messy. But science doesn't agree to the same. Antonio Damasio conducted studies on patients with damages in their emotional centers of their brain and found that these people could solve complex puzzles for hours and hours, think deep analytically, but couldn't take a simplest decision of what to eat. And that is when we realized that emotions are not a distraction from logic. In fact, it is what makes the logic work. And right now, our machines are learning the same. Effectiva trains AI to understand micro-expression. GPT mimics human empathy in conversations. And Gemini understands cues based on your tones. But here comes the paradox. While we teach machines how to process feelings, we are flattening our own feelings into mere icons and emojis. There was this one time when I was having a rough day and I texted a friend of mine. Instead of explaining much, I sent her a crying emoji and she responded back with a heart and a hug. It helped, but the entire bond of human connectivity couldn't fit inside a single icon. That is when I asked myself, are we decoding technology with emotions? Or are we letting technology decide how we're meant to feel? And what does this lead to next? This leads to the rise of techno instincts. Years before, our ancestors ran from the sound of rustling bushes. Their survival instincts kept them alive. Right now, a single notification grabs all our attention immediately. Same wiring, same response, but to a different trigger. Something has changed here, right? Instincts that were once built through survival are now built through interfaces. I used map to find directions to some places. What's the big deal? There was this one time when I used it to find ways to my own home, the place where I've been living for decades. I knew the route by heart. Yet somehow I still chose to follow that tiny arrow out there. That day, I didn't outsource navigation. I outsourced my instincts. Quietly, even without us knowing, our instincts are being reprogrammed, rewired, quietly, beautifully, also a bit dangerously. And once these instincts are rerouted, the next frontier is engineering of emotions. Now, this aspect is called affective computing, where your feelings are not just felt, they are read, logged, and leveraged. I want all of you to imagine this scenario. You're having a bad day, your AI assistant detects it, plays out your favorite song from your favorite playlist. Your OTT platform suggests a melancholic tearjerker for you to binge watch on. Your food delivery application recommends foods on which they've got offers. Your shopping cart nudges you about the products that are left in your cart. You feel you're being understood, but we are being guided. When emotions become predictable, they also become profitable. And that is when I asked myself, are these feelings actually mine? Or am I feeding this into a machine that exactly knows what to do when I'm feeling down, that exactly knows what to sell to me when I'm feeling down? That's quite astounding, isn't it? Now that their entire emotions and expressions and instincts are decoded, what about the words that we use to express them? There's this word in German called Verschlimmbessern, which translates to making something worse while trying to improvise it. There's no exact equivalent of that in English, but we felt that, right? So languages apparently don't just express your thoughts, they shape how you think. And now AI systems are doing the same. So much that in 2017, Facebook had to shut down quite a lot of their bots because these bots had developed a language which only they could comprehend, which was completely incomprehensible to the human mind. Does this mean that language no longer needs grammar, but just signals? Maybe, we might never know. With all of our languages, instincts, and emotions being reconfigured, the entire aspects of how our brain functions is modified. Professor Andy Clark calls this the theory of extended mind, wherein our tools just don't shape us how we think. They become an integral part of how we think. In this scenario, our minds isn't confined to our brain alone. They are sprawled across screens, servers, and signals. The human emotions, which we thought were just related to us, are now comprehensible to machines as well. And maybe the future isn't machine versus man, it is machine as a mirror to man. And this journey out here of emotion, language, and instinct comes to a rest here. Not with a conclusion, not with answers, but with a soft realization. Because not every single thought need to have an answer. Some just need to be felt for. And I'll leave with you a poem. My thoughts are no longer mine alone. They echo through metals and glasses, sprawled across cables. I am not just data. I am not dust. I am the in-between, where heartbeat meets algorithm, where memory meets machine. I am a fusion of carbon and code, of instincts and interfaces, of silence and signals. I am not post-human. I am not pre-machine. I am just becoming. And each boundary that I meet is not a wall that I'm meant to break. Maybe it's a mirror, a question, or a door that would lead me somewhere. And we don't just vanish because of tech. We expand through it. Our instincts reroute, our language migrates, and our emotions evolve. But the human, it's still here. Still glitching, still messy, and still miraculous. So maybe the future isn't post-human at all. Maybe it is more human than we've ever dared to be. Thank you all.